As promised, we're going to talk about Airbnb today, and I have a very, 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 very special guest. But before I introduce her, we're going to give it a little bit of time so people can come in and join the chat. I know everybody's been waiting. I apologize. It was supposed to be 10 a.m. this morning, but I made a huge mistake, and I got caught up in traffic and things like that, so we had to push it back. But I am excited, and we're going to get things going. So I'm going to put a little countdown on the screen, and then hopefully we'll have some more people here with us. What's good, everyone? As promised, I am here, Alex, the financial guru. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I know we got our group chat and we got everything going in. And first off, I just want to tell y'all, thank you so much for the encouragement, the support. You know, it's so cool seeing how much money is being raised in such a small span of time. Especially, we started out with like 88 members, or I think it was 79 members. And in 5 months, 79 grew to over 7,600 people and active people on top of that. So all those spams and all the scammers, we've already weeded them out. So it would have been well over 8,000. But it's really cool. So I just want to get straight into it. I want to talk about, first, before I get into it, let me introduce. And I have to do this. I have to do. Y'all always hear me talk about Airbnb and all these type of things. Well, this is my mentor. Okay, she's expensive. She is expensive, and just for the fact she took the time out to even do this little interview with me is worth thousands of dollars. Let me explain. You're gonna get so much information in this small little span. Okay. So write down, take advantage, because I promise you this will not happen again. We had to pull a lot of strings to make this happen. So I am so excited. Dr. Lynda, the Airbnb queen. Give a special shout out for the Airbnb queen herself. How you doing, Dr. Lynda?
Alex, that was like a grand entry, and I'm hoping that I can fill those shoes.
Of course you are.
You just did that, okay?
Listen, I had to because, as we get into the interview, I'm going to explain. Well, I guess I can talk about it a little bit. So everyone knows I'm always into so many different fields, right? My hand is always into some type of pot. Well, I tried the landlord business,
yes.
Right? We were taught as young that you need to own property, and then when you own it, you rent it out, and then the money that makes from the rent pays into the property, and then it builds up the equity, and then 30 years later, you can pass it on to children, all these type of things. It's not a bad idea.
No, it's not.
It's not a bad idea, but to me, I think it's not the best idea. I thought it was. It wasn't until when I saw this actual course that you was doing, and was talking about Airbnb. It was expensive. It was over $1,500.
Yes.
I decided to make the investment, made the investment, came out, and I mean, literally in my first week, I made back $1,100 in the first week.
Yes.
I just thought that was like mind blowing.
Yes.
And in the first month, over 4,000.
Yes.
So I try to let people know about business credit and how important business credit is because you can get these Airbnb contracts and things like that without having to put the money out of your pocket.
That's right.
And I remember what drew me in was that you made like 30 grand a month. That's nuts.
I sure did.
That's crazy. So I'm not gonna say anything else. I'm gonna introduce you and I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions. First off, everybody, if you have any questions, this is the time that you need to ask. Okay, because I promise you, once after this interview is done, it's gonna be taken down and you won't be able to see this again. So if you have any questions about Airbnb, anything like that, this is the time to ask. And let me put up your website here, dominionbiz.com. I know that's where you teach people and set them up for Airbnb and things like that. Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. All right. So, Dr. Lynda.
Yes, Dr. Alex.
What made you? I mean, first off, I'm grateful. As you can see, I can't stop smiling. Like, I'm extremely happy that you even came up with this course. And I was so nutty enough to make the investment.
Yes.
What made you even go the Airbnb route? Because, I mean, in our culture, they teach us, ownership. And then, so if you can just dive in on that real quick.
And ownership is not bad. It's not really the fact that you cannot own property or own property. Owning property is great, but it's the vehicle by which you use to be able to create that legacy, that inheritance for your children.
Yes.
And so this is what is so special about Airbnb, because as opposed to, as you just mentioned, being a landlord, dealing with unruly people, waiting for the end of the month for money to come, and sometimes there's more month than the money that comes. You're literally dividing your monthly rent or the monthly rent that you would be charging someone. You're dividing it into days.
Correct.
When we're in Airbnb, we divide that rent or mortgage, whatever you want to call it, into days. And so we look at those days and we tack additionals on those days and we come out ahead.
Yes.
Now with me, I think you mentioned how I got started or what have you. How did I go this route? Well, long story short, I was broke, busted, and disgusted.
Come on now.
I really was. Single mom. And to be very honest with you, I am in the accounting field, bookkeeping, all of that.
Yeah.
And I was doing that, and it was going well until one of these hurricanes, and I can't even remember what it was. I want to say Irma, around in 2017, maybe a little bit before, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Came around and didn't hit us, but just basically just came across, and everything that I was doing was halted. And so for months, I can't even go back to explain how this happened, and it was just really detrimental to me, but I just saw my money going out the door. And someone had told me, one of my secretaries in New York, she said, Miss Collymore, you know what you should do? Your house is perfect for Airbnb. And I was like, my house is perfect. I said, what is Airbnb? And I didn't know. To make a long story short, I got to the end of the year and I needed some money so bad. And I said, you know what? I've had this Airbnb thing all this time, didn't know what I was doing, Alex, and that's why I'm so big on teaching people, because you can do Airbnb. People talk about doing Airbnb, but they don't know how to make money. There's money, you can do anything, but the art of it is, how do you make money?
Correct.
And so I learned the hard way, and because of that, I got a few bruises, got little things happen, but essentially, by the time the new year had come in, I had made about $2,000, and I was like, whoa, and this is days.
Yeah.
Because it was around holidays.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa, my mind started turning. And I said, if I can make this money in days, what can I make in months? So to make a long story short, in a matter of 2.5 months, I was able to get $30,000 to put down on a house. Now, mind you, I was renting this house.
Wow.
I was renting this house. So I was really at a dead end. Even my credit, we talk about business credit and all that, it was just like going down the tubes.
Wow.
All of this turned around with this additional stream of income and, of course, a mindset change as well. And since that time, I've been on and popping.
Wow.
And teaching people.
And so y'all see why I'm literally just flabbergasted, is because, just imagine, as you said, you was broke, disgusted, and busted.
I really was.
And then now to make $2,000 in a couple of days.
Exactly.
So
that's not too shabby.
That's not shabby at all.
That's not shabby.
If I can make $2,000 in a couple of days now.
And let me just throw it in. I was renting.
Yeah.
I didn't own. Now, of course, I own properties now. But I started off, I didn't have any properties. I didn't have anything. I just had a belief in that something has to break for me, and this did.
So I want to ask you something. Now, I know that this is in courses and things like that, and I don't want to give away, all your information, but someone was asking about corporate leases and like, how would you go about even trying to pitch the idea so that someone is able to jump in and start this type of business?
When you say start, are you talking about from the landlord's perspective, or you're talking about from starting the business itself, or pitching the idea to someone that's in corporate?
Like let's just say, for an example, you wanted to go to an apartment complex or something like that and say, hey, I want to rent this for Airbnb.
Awesome. Well, the thing about Airbnb, especially in the United States of America, is still pretty new.
Okay.
Pretty much, I would say across the world, about 75% of the Airbnb is actually outside of the country. So we still have a great possibility of what this Airbnb could do.
Wow.
But a lot of people don't understand it, and they don't understand the concept, and especially when you're dealing with property owners and you're dealing with these corporations, they're like, how can it benefit me?
Correct.
Yes, you're renting it from me, but how can it benefit me? And one of the things that I tell them is that, listen, you deal with unruly renters all the time. They always want to, pay you late, and even if they aren't paying you late, you've got the wear and tear on the place. You've got all of those things that you're dealing with. Well, with Airbnb, if you jump on one of those platforms with me, so to speak, or you rent to me, then one of the things you don't have to worry about is maintenance. I take care of that because it's all in my costs. I deal with that. Number two, you don't ever have to worry about me being late.
Come on.
With me, as far as renting or doing anything like that, I literally put them on an automatic payment because I don't have an issue with monies coming in at all. There's no wear and tear on the place because we don't mess it up. We have to keep your Airbnb place. I have to keep my Airbnb place looking real good.
Correct. In
Or
order to
else,
bring money.
about
you
the
get
reviews and stuff.
Yeah.
Your reviews, they'll tell you, oh my goodness, this was broken, this and that. So when the owners come in, when corporations even look at that idea, you're painting to them a picture of lesser liability.
Wow.
They don't have to, yes, they're making money. And I'll be honest with you, there are times when they're a little hard up and they say, no, I don't know. I'll offer them a little bit more money. You know why? Because I'm so vested in this. I know so much how to deal with it, how to do it, that turning over that dollar is nothing for you to do when you're dealing with that platform. As long as you do your business right, you can make that money back and more.
And I said that in the group because just think about this, right? Imagine if, let's say you're the owner, and I say, hey, how much are you renting this place for? And you say, oh, I'm renting it out for $1,500. And then I say, I pitch this idea to you, and you say, no, I'm not really interested. I just don't, it don't sit right with me. And I say, well, instead of $1,500, I'm willing to pay you $2,000. I'm willing to pay you $2,000, and I'm willing to give you 6 months up front. Now, it's extremely difficult for someone to turn that down.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's the dollar.
Correct. It's the
that
dollar
they
sign.
need, not just
Yeah.
want, they
Every
need.
business needs money in order to thrive.
Absolutely.
So with this group that we're in, we're able to raise the capital to start the investments.
Absolutely, and there's business credit.
You can't go wrong with that. You raise it up, and then now, God forbid, if it doesn't work out or pan out the way you plan, at least it's no hurt or detriment to your personal credit.
Absolutely.
Because it's all under a corporate lease or something like that.
Absolutely.
So what would you suggest to the couple, the young couple, or, you know, the two sisters or the two single fathers who are trying to come together as brothers and start a business like this? Do you think that Airbnb is still a good investment as of now?
I believe that it is one of the best investments.
It's definitely one.
Yeah, in fact, you know, we're in the wave of platforms.
Okay.
Platforms is what's making money as well.
Okay.
You know, not just Airbnb, you got Uber, I know we're talking about Airbnb, but you got all these platforms where the money is made when the person comes to the platform.
Yep.
They share that space, and then, you know, of course, the platform gets a cut of it, and then you take the rest. And it's a minimal fee, if you will. But for the single fathers, the single mothers, for those people who are saying, what kind of investment would be a good investment for me, and would Airbnb be the best investment? Hands down,
Yes.
I would say yes.
100%.
For several reasons. One, you don't have to own property in order to do Airbnb.
Wow.
But what I can say to you is that you must go into Airbnb like you would go into anything else, Alex, with a plan.
Yes.
You have to have a plan, and you want to be able to just write your numbers down. Like, okay, I'm going to be paying this rent, and I'm going to have these expensive electric, water, and those kinds of, just like you would any business. And see the nature of the investment you need to make. Put about 2 to 3 months, tack it on there.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, and you're wanting to believe and wing it like we do business, because we know that
Correct.
business is a risk no matter how you
It
take it.
is a risk,
I
yes.
will say to you, hands down, if you're going to do something, do Airbnb. Not just because I'm pushing it and backing it,
Yeah.
because I was in a real low place. I didn't have any money. When I tell you I
Yeah.
have more month than money, and I was a single mother,
Wow.
I was about to get thrown out. Let's put it that way. I could see us visibly homeless.
Wow.
Linking into this program, open and being flexible, what God wanted to do, listen, I never looked back. And I've never had financial issues since that time.
Wow.
Now, it doesn't just come with investing in Airbnb.
Yeah.
It comes with a mindset. When we talk about business credit and those other things,
Correct.
you have to change your mind to understand that it takes money to make money.
That's right.
You can't not invest. We look at the amount that we have to invest, but let's look at the return on the
Correct.
investment that you make. And so those things are mental blocks that has to be broken down. But definitely, hands down, Airbnb, whoa, is the way to
And
go.
just to piggyback on it, now notice she said it takes money to make money, right? We've heard that thousands of times. We hear that everywhere. But the most important thing that they don't teach you is that it doesn't take your money
Come on, OPM.
to make money.
That's it.
It
Other
takes-
people's money.
That's simple.
Absolutely.
And there's banks, I mean, literally they're dying to give you money because remember, these banks cannot survive without them lending money to an individual or a corporation and getting some type of interest back on it.
Absolutely.
It's the only way they can make money and thrive in these industries. So just think about that. Keep that in mind at all times. I mean, I got to be honest with you. Airbnb has saved my life as well. Like
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we had a issue where tenants were just, you know, they're always coming in late.
Yeah.
And at the 5th of the month, I got to be sending a text message. Hey, you know, if you don't make the payment, there's going to be a $125 fee. And then now they want to withhold the money because, oh, the toilet seat cracked.
Right, the toilet.
Yeah, you know, it's just
Right.
magically anytime they owe.
Right.
All of a sudden.
You've got to pay your mortgage.
Correct. And you still got to pay all
yours.
these expenses.
Absolutely.
And it's like when I got to Airbnb and the moment that a person checks in, I get paid 24 hours later.
You sure do.
Oh my God.
I never forget, Alex, when I got a place and I fixed it up and I had a mindset of, okay, I had a target date.
Yeah.
2 weeks, I'm going to have this thing done. I think it was about a week maybe even. I don't want to be over-exaggerating, but it may be a week or 2 weeks. And let me tell you something. While I'm getting that place fixed up. I'm literally advertising that place.
That's how I got in.
I'm just telling you
Yeah,
straight
yeah.
out.
That's exactly how I
I'm
got
literally
in.
advertising that
Yeah.
place. And if you could believe it, it was the one of the baseball teams, the local baseball teams. I won't call any names, but
Yeah.
actually they came out from the coaches actually rented that place. I got, boom, $1,200 the day they set their foot in that
Wow.
door.
You can't beat that.
$12,000.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I said
God.
$1,200. $12,000 the day they set their foot. So all of the money that I spent on it using business credit,
Correct.
I turned around, paid off the credit card, and pocketed
Got it right
what
in. Wow. So you see why this is so important. And I know that we have a lot of questions and things like that. This is your chance to get the questions because it took a lot of money to get here. And I'm telling you right now, you're not going to get this opportunity again to where you can ask a question and it can be answered. So let me see here. Let me see what someone says here. Will apartment complexes approve you if your business credit is not built already? I think I can answer that one.
Go right ahead.
Apartment complexes usually can't run business credit. They're designed for personal credit. So what you can do what I would do is to contact the property manager directly, let them know, hey, this, and I would put either 6 months to a year up front. There's no risk to them because they're already getting the funds up front. Can't beat that. You can still negotiate the same rate, but just pay up front, and then they'll work their way to make sure that that you fit the criteria for the application. Just remember, money talks. Dreams don't, but money talks. No matter what, money talks. Money talks all the way. And let me see here. What's another question? Do you share hot locations? Oh, I think this is someone talking about something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, let me see.
Let me put back up the website. So just in case if anyone wants to have a one-on-one with her, you can. And doctor, that's dominionbiz.com.
www.dominionbiz.com.
Dominionbiz.com.
That's
okay,
right.
perfect.
And
And
you'll see my link
let me
on
ask you, how can anyone reach out to you just in case if they ever
Well,
wanted to?
we do have our office that is here 9 to 5, or I should say 10 to 5
Okay.
from Monday through Friday. And that number is actually 561 292 2777. That's 561 292 2777. You can call and schedule an appointment. You can go to the website and even schedule an appointment right there on that link. There's something I wanted to say because you had mentioned earlier about what corporations actually would like about this.
Yeah.
And one thing that I failed to mention is this. We've heard a lot about, oh, my Airbnb was trash, or they trashed my house and they did all of this.
Correct.
Listen, folks, let me tell you something. That right there is a rarity when it comes to Airbnb.
Correct.
The reason why you hear about that so much is because
so
when
extreme.
It's,
Yeah.
it's so extreme.
Yeah. It's literally
It's
like
so
far
extreme.
left.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you this, with my Airbnbs, and Alex, you can
Yeah.
attest maybe to this with yours. I probably had 2 occasions
Yeah.
where they literally, utterly did some crazy stuff. And it wasn't even that bad. It was just like they had a party
Yeah.
there kind of thing. But one thing that I always share with the owner is this. Listen, I've got $1 million. Now I have $3 million of insurance for the property. So you don't have to worry about that.
Correct.
If someone does something, I will not only get paid,
Yeah.
but I will make sure that the place is exactly the way it was when I
Correct.
found it, if not better.
Yes.
And we've got to know that Airbnb actually pays us for those
Correct.
kind of casualties and things like that. So it's really a worthwhile
Yes.
investment.
I
So that's
agree.
one thing I wanted to point out.
And another person, they also said about info. Do you get information from AirDNA?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
AirDNA is it's really like an analyzation program
Okay.
where it shows you all of the Airbnbs that are located within a particular region. You put the zip code up top or what have you. Yes, I do. And I teach folks how to break down that information and to see what's good for you. But at the same time, you don't just go by Airbnb as well, AirDNA, sorry.
Yeah.
You don't just go by AirDNA. There's some other factors that I can help you with that would tell you, hey, yeah, this is a good place that we could do it. And it's not always the place where everybody else goes.
Wow.
So that's something that we need to keep in mind.
Gotcha. So
But yes,
AirDNA.
AirDNA is good.
And I'm assuming that's airdna.com.
AirDNA, I think it's .co, if
Okay.
I'm not mistaken, and they
.co.
can correct me if
Okay.
I'm wrong on that. But
I will put that
it's so
in there.
locked into my web browser that I just go and
You just go in and it just pop it up.
I go in and take a look at it. Yeah.
So with, and I wanted to mention something. So remember when I first started, right? I'm in this rural area. I mean, literally bush and trees. It's not fully developed like
Right.
that. So I was nervous
Right, of course.
starting because I was like, man, we're like, who's gonna want to come here? You know, like there are so many families and people and construction workers
Absolutely.
and travel nurses
Yes.
that wants a peaceful, quiet place. I would have never guessed. And I was literally booked for the first 3 months like
Of course
that.
you would.
I would have never guessed that.
We cannot assume
Correct.
that what people want and what they
cannot.
don't want. Your place is just right for
That's right.
somebody. If it was right for you, it was right. It's right for somebody else.
Correct. I wanted to say, listen, if you're in the hood, you're in the ghetto, right? Of course, you would think,
I love it.
right? We always think to ourselves,
No.
I can't wait to get out of
they
here.
don't know. They want to go.
They want the experience.
They want it.
Who would have thought, like, well,
Yes. Can you imagine someone, Alex?
Yeah.
I just need to experience the ghetto. I just need to go, please. Just let me come. Can I rent your place?
and I'm willing to pay you $200 a night.
200.
Come on.
Absolutely.
This is phenomenal.
And especially in Florida. Like,
Yes.
I mean, this here is like any place is
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
mecca
Yeah, yeah.
for anybody to
Exactly.
come. So you cannot assume they want it.
You really cannot
You
assume.
can't. You really can't.
So perfect. Listen, Dr. Lynda, I feel like a kid in a candy store. Thank you so much for taking the time to come and educate the people. Y'all always hear me talking about Airbnb, and you always keep hearing me reference the Airbnb queen. This is the Airbnb queen.
Believe you.
I don't care who comes in the group. I don't care
can't.
who puts that their Airbnb this and that. I don't care. I promise you, you're not going to find anybody more resourceful than this one here. So I am excited.
It's
We're
my
gonna
pleasure.
we're
It's
gonna
my
take
honor.
one more question. If you have one more question, take advantage of it right
on,
now
guys,
we're
ask your questions.
because we're about to close out, and I just want to make sure. Can you record this and post it on here? Yes, that I will. Unfortunately, not on Facebook. It will not be on Facebook, but it will be available, and I'm gonna put back up her website.
And
So
Alex,
just in case
could
you
I
reach
say
them.
something
Sure.
else as well? One thing that's very important, and I mentioned this before, but I want to kind of open it up a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
and that is, listen, guys, it's one thing in doing Airbnb, but it's another thing in making money.
Yes.
I know people who've done Airbnb, and they said, you know, Dr. C, I can't make any money with this. Well, more than likely, it's because of your back office. Anything has a back office. Back office is the way you handle your fees and the way you handle all these things.
Correct.
And a lot of times, it's in that back area. And sometimes we're doing Airbnb and we're stressing the fact that we're doing Airbnb, but are you making money? When I say
Yes.
making money,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about, are you getting some cha-ching in your pocket?
yeah.
You're getting, I'm talking about with one stay for 2,
Yeah.
3 days, you could make $1,000, a couple of $1,000, depending
Yeah.
upon how you set your stuff. So it's so important to get with somebody
Yes.
who knows this stuff and not just get into it. We don't want just people that's just jumping out and trying to hit it and quit it. We want somebody that wants to embrace it and be
Yeah.
able to build on top of that for their legacy.
No, you know,
That's
and
important.
it's so good that you say that because my highest grossing month was, I think, a little over 9,000,
Oh, man.
and that was with minimal effort. On top of that,
Minimal.
yeah, minimal effort, and on top of it, one of the things that I liked was you're gonna get people from all over. I mean, I literally had a guest from same thing from a baseball team, right? A major league
Yes,
baseball team on top of
yes.
that. And then on top of it, there was a lawyer group that was
Love it.
working on a big case.
Oh, I love it.
And they messaged me and said, hey, we need to turn, they said, your table is big enough to where we can do like a war room.
I love it.
And we just need certain things, and it just wanted to know, can you provide? So I'm thinking, if I was a lawyer, what would I do? So I was thinking coffee. So instead of me having my regular traditional coffee pot, I bought like 2 other ones with Keurig and everything like that. So if it's a
Thinking the
war
way
room,
they're thinking the way they're thinking.
correct. I'm thinking they need coffee
I
like
love
this,
it.
like
Yes.
quick. Then on top of it, printer.
Yes.
Need ink, so I bought
Yes.
extra ink, extra paper, things that they'll be able to access.
Absolutely. That they can touch very quickly.
Correct. And then I made sure that the internet was at the highest speed, so they don't have to worry about,
That's it.
if they're transmitting documents back and forth.
Absolutely, Alex.
And that law group was so excited. They love, and listen, I spent maybe, I think it was like about $230 for the different, all the stuff.
Yes.
And in a week, that was like $2,600.
Absolutely, Alex.
You can't beat that.
And I'm going to tell you something. I took some of my Airbnb money too,
Mm-hmm.
and I opened up Turo.
Yeah. So you see what I'm saying?
And what the reason why I'm saying this is that this right here is so powerful
Yes.
that you can actually start other
Correct. You can
things
fund
with this.
other
But
things
the,
with
the,
it.
The sensing that you would say, I just spent $200 and something and I
Yeah.
got 2,000 out. I mean,
You can't beat that. And it's not like I spent it out of my own pocket.
No.
I didn't even spend it from my profits.
I know.
I literally took it from the business credit because I have like a
Absolutely.
Sam's Club account. That was it.
that's right.
And I paid it back literally the same week. So it wasn't, I didn't lose anything out of it at all.
You can't.
So thank you so much once again. Just
Thank
want to,
you.
here is the last question. One person said, how do we get started with the Airbnb? Just come on, will you post this? Oh, I don't even know what you're saying. I don't even know what to say.
You got to type it again.
Yeah,
okay?
you got to retype that. I'm sorry. I don't even know what you're saying.
I can't tell.
But
deal.
as we close out, I just want to say thank you so much for
Thank
taking the time out
you.
to speak to the listeners and the viewers that we have. And I really, really
I
appreciate
miss you.
it.
I didn't see you in so long.
I know. I haven't seen you
I was like,
in
you talking
eons.
about I'm busy. Hey, you're busy too.
I am.
We're gonna have to
Yo-
get some time
Yes,
so I can see
we-
what's
we
going
do.
on with you, Alex.
We do. Listen, I am all over the place.
Oh, God, I know
So
you are, but it's a
forgive
good
me.
thing, and I'm very proud of what you're doing
Oh,
too.
thank you so
when
much.
you came in, I said, I heard this, Alex, the finance guru.
Yeah.
I said, oh, that's what they're talking about. I said, whoa, I get to sit with the finance
Yes,
guru.
yes.
That's a big deal. So it's an honor being with you too. It
Thank
really
you
is.
so much. So, guys, I will have this available for later, just in case you have any questions. But thank you again so much, Doctor.
welcome.
If there's any question, guys, remember her website is dominionbiz.com. Do not be afraid to reach out to her. Her platforms will be listed. And everyone have a great day. Take care and be safe.